Now, I didn't really necessarily plan on talking about this one tonight, but I decided to give it a little watch because, well, I had nothing else to do. Pull up the camera, pull out the glasses, pull out the fucking little box I'm in. I might as well just do a little recording, a little tape for you all talking about this movie because it is a lot of fun and one of those sci-fi action adventure thrillers, doodahs. You can say whatever you want to call it. Let's just say what it is. It's a sci-fi fun film. Now, Serenity, common name for any type of film that you would watch. Not thinking of Matthew McConaughey, but we're thinking of Nathan Fillion, and we're thinking of a ship called the Serenity. Now, what is this movie about? Well, I shall tell you folks in the most professional way possible. Because after watching this movie, I decided to go to the Uncharted short film, watch Nathan Fillion play as Nathan Drake for a good 40 minutes, whatever the duration is, because I like Nathan Fillion, and not just on Uncharted in this, but to me, he's a definition of an underrated actor. Now, as for what this movie is, well, a group of space cadets travel to the outside area of the intergalactic space dimension known as, well, our galaxy, in this ship called the Serenity. Now, Captain Malcolm Reynolds, nice looking guy, and his crew take in a gentleman named Simon Tam and his sister with psychic abilities named River. Now, as for who our cast is between these names, you have Nathan Fillion, you have Sean Maher, and Summer Glau. They're being looked upon the Observative, who is an Alliance officer who's on a mission to stop everybody on the Serenity. So, what happens in this movie? Let's just say a lot of shit transpires. Now, from what I understand, this movie is based off a TV show called Firefly. And we're not talking about the Fireflies in The Last of Us or The Bug. We're talking about a television show called Firefly. Now, I've never seen the show at all, but the fact that I know that this movie is based off this television show, turning it into its own, is outstanding. Now, what can I say about this movie? Well, I'm just going to say right off the bat, Nathan Fillion's the man. The guy is so much fun to watch. Now, I'm going to go back to Uncharted again. The way he was able to give his performance in this movie, even though he had some serious moments, but it was his mannerisms, it was his look, his appeal. This looked like if fucking Nathan Drake became a space cadet. Put all the action, adventure, treasure hunting bullshit aside, this is where he becomes a space cadet and turns into a fucking just badass general. But in this case right here, Nathan Fillion, he was able to become Malcolm Reynolds and turn into his own character. Great stuff. He was young in this movie. He played a really fun main character. And obviously with his presentation, his mannerisms, and how he came off carrying himself, it was just so much fucking fun. And the film itself came out in 2005, so a little modern, a little past, a little bit mixture in between within the 2000s decade. So 2005 being one of those movies that came out, giving you all something fun to watch. This right here was something that Nathan Fillion played in, and he did a really good job with this role. Now, like I said, this movie comes off as its own thing, where, sure, it was inspired by the television show or continuation, wherever the interpretation is, but it feels like it is its own original sci-fi space shoot-'em-up film. Maybe with all the sound effects, maybe somebody's a fan of Konami or Space Invaders or some sort of alien space shooter arcade game. Because a lot of those sound effects that was going on with the action sequences going on, I sure as hell felt like I was watching an arcade game turn into its own movie. Anybody fans of Atari? I hope so. So, it comes off like its own movie. It's got a decent story to it. And that is one thing I can't really complain about. It's got a decent story. It's got a background of who you learn about Sam and River, where they came from, how they were affiliated with the Alliance, not the ECW Alliance, but just the Alliance in general that is opposing the Serenity. You learn about River, you learn about Sam, you learn about how Captain Malcolm Reynolds is supposed to trust these guys, especially learning their skills, their talents, their abilities, how he's able to take them under their wing and not only show them how the Serenity works, but also showcasing the interest, the sportsmanship, but also the fact that he was able to grow a connection with these guys later on as movie progresses. So, like I said, you learn about their backstory, where they came from. Now, the film itself was really nicely shot. Sure, it had that shaky cam thing going on, but it wasn't fucking a lot or something that was like overly done. It was just during like some of the most hard-hitting action sequences where the fucking space crafts are fighting against the fucking bad guys and everything. It was nicely shot. The CGI wasn't really used a lot in terms of like making it too obvious. It was where you were buying and believing, something that Star Wars did all those years ago, but Star Wars used a lot of practical effects. But in this case right here, though, I kind of felt like a little practical effects were used, but then again, that's just one man's opinion. Sure, you got a little CGI, you got some CGI going on, but it wasn't obvious, but it made it look really good and blended in really well with all the shit that was going on, whether with the landscape itself and the scenes, just the whole entire look and appeal. Really good stuff. So, fun. It's a fun action sci-fi movie. Now, you got yourself the names itself, not necessarily something that's really well pronounced in terms besides seeing Nathan Fillion, but also Alan Tudyk. I probably pronounced his name wrong. He went on to do some pretty good stuff later on. I know he was in that show Firefly, obviously with the same cast involved. Continuing on, same cast that was in the television show turned into its own movie. He went on to do that. He went on to do that Dodgeball film. I believe that was like beforehand. Before he did this movie. I know he did that TV show Resident Alien that was very popular. That was on some streaming platforms or whatever. But he managed to find some success along the way after the show and after the movie. Now that I'm talking about it, I might as well watch the TV show Firefly and see what this is all about. And obviously that this got its own movie continuing off, being a spin-off into its own fucking thing, separating from the television show. I might as well check the TV show out and see what that's all about. So, overall, to say about Serenity, it's a fun movie. It's nothing to really get all sporadic or excited or say it's one of the greatest of all time, but it's a fun movie. It really is a fun movie. For anybody who likes action blended with sci-fi, vice versa, whatever the case is, you're going to have fun watching this. You got Nathan Fillion, who is a great talent and a fun personality to watch in movies, no matter what the genre is. He is a great fucking talent. You got a nice little small cast going on, repricing their roles from the fucking television show into a movie itself. It's nicely shot. A lot of fun action going on within the whole space shoot 'em ups. The story itself is decent. You got backstory. It's nicely shot. CGI was brought to a minimum. And it's a solid little fun movie. So, as for what I give Serenity, I give it 3.5 out of 5. It really is a fun movie. Nice watching it again and to come on here and talk about it with you all. So, with that being said, folks, that's got to do it for my little talk on Serenity. And as always, let me know down below your thoughts. And, of course, ciao for now.